Picture this: you're walking through a crowded space and your gaze lingers longer than it should. You feel a tug of war in your mind, an internal conflict that leaves you distracted and frustrated. Lust is like a thief in the night, robbing you of focus, mental clarity, and even self-respect. It pulls you away from your values and traps you in a cycle of fleeting desires. But here's the truth: conquering lust isn't about denying your human nature. It's about mastering it. Stoic philosophy offers powerful tools to take control of your thoughts, align your actions with your principles, and foster meaningful connection. This isn't about repression, it's about liberation, freedom from the chains of instant gratification. In this video, we'll uncover 6 transformative strategies grounded in Stoic wisdom to help you overcome lustful tendencies. These aren't just theoretical ideas, they're practical, actionable steps, enriched with relatable examples and powerful stories. The final strategy in particular might just redefine how you see yourself and your purpose. Stick with me, and let's transform your mindset together. Lesson 1. Shift your perspective from object to soul. Lust often starts with a narrow view of another person, reducing them to mere physical attributes. This dehumanizing perspective fuels the cycle of desire. Marcus Aurelius wisely said, "Whenever you are about to find fault with someone, ask yourself what fault of yours most resembles theirs." In the context of lust, this means recognizing the humanity of others rather than objectifying them. When you see someone, ask yourself, who are they beyond what I see? What are their dreams, their struggles, their joys? A man who reduced his colleagues to physical appearances once overheard one discussing her passion for caring for her elderly parents. This insight shattered his objectifying perspective. He realized she wasn't just a face in the crowd, she was a daughter, a caregiver, a human being with depth. Shifting your focus from the external to the internal also applies to self-reflection. Ask yourself, why do I feel this way? What need am I trying to fulfill? Often, lust stems from an unmet emotional void, like loneliness or insecurity. Acknowledging this can help you redirect your energy toward meaningful connections or personal growth. Consider practicing a mental exercise. Visualize each person you're drawn to as someone sharing their life story with you. Imagine their challenges and aspirations. This simple habit helps dismantle the illusion of lust and replaces it with empathy. Lastly, remember that shifting your perspective isn't a one-time event, it's a continuous practice. Over time, your ability to see others as whole, complex individuals will strengthen, leaving less room for fleeting desires to take hold. Lesson 2. Master the art of redirection. Lustful thoughts are like seeds that grow when watered. The Stoics understood this well, emphasizing the power of redirection. Seneca reminds us we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. The moment a lustful thought enters your mind, it's crucial to catch it early and redirect your focus. For example, imagine you're scrolling through social media and come across an alluring image. Instead of allowing the thought to snowball, pause and ask yourself, is this helping me become the person I aspire to be? Then redirect your energy to a productive activity, whether it's reading, working on a personal project, or simply taking a moment to breathe. Redirection is a skill, much like learning to play an instrument. At first it feels clumsy and unnatural. You may find yourself reverting to old habits. But persistence is key. A man struggling with similar tendencies made a habit of reciting a personal mantra, "My purpose is greater than my impulses." Over time, this mantra became his mental anchor, helping him pivot away from temptation. Another effective technique is physical redirection. If you're in a situation where lustful thoughts arise, like the gym or a party, shift your focus to a physical task. Push yourself to lift heavier weights, engage in a conversation, or even step outside for fresh air. Movement can disrupt the cycle of unwanted thoughts. Finally, understand that redirection is not about ignoring your desires, but reshaping how you respond to them. Each time you redirect, you're training your mind to prioritize what truly matters. Over time, this practice builds resilience and strengthens your ability to focus on your higher values. Lesson 3. Visualize the consequences. Lustful actions often come with hidden consequences, both external and internal. Epictetus reminds us, it is not events that disturb us, but our judgments about them. When a lustful thought enters your mind, take a moment to visualize the ripple effects of indulging in it. This practice isn't about fear, but wisdom, seeing reality as it truly is. Imagine a man who spends hours fixating on images or fantasies. At first it feels harmless, even pleasurable. But over time he notices how it erodes his productivity, damages his relationships, and fills him with guilt. This pattern isn't unique, it's a common experience when desires are left unchecked. By vividly imagining these outcomes beforehand, you can interrupt the cycle before it begins. Consider this: what if every glance or thought fueled your insecurity rather than alleviating it? Visualizing the emotional toll, such as guilt, shame, or distraction, can create a powerful mental barrier against temptation. Instead of dwelling on fleeting pleasure, focus on the peace and freedom that come from discipline. One man struggling with this habit adopted a unique strategy. Each time he felt tempted, he wrote down one long-term consequence of his actions. This act of visualization forced him to confront the impact on his personal goals, his family, and even his sense of self-worth. Over time, this habit reshaped his behavior entirely. Finally, visualization is not just about fear, but empowerment. By imagining the pride and strength that come from mastering your impulses, you can create a positive incentive for change. Picture yourself as a disciplined, focused individual, free from the distractions of lust. Let this vision inspire you to stay on the path of virtue. Lesson 4. Practice mindfulness and presence. The Stoics believed in living fully in the present moment, free from distractions and attachments. Lust pulls you away from this ideal, anchoring your mind in fantasies rather than reality. To counter this, mindfulness becomes a powerful tool. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Mindfulness begins with awareness. When a lustful thought arises, acknowledge it without judgment. Say to yourself, "This is a passing thought, not my identity." By separating yourself from the impulse, you weaken its hold on you. Imagine standing on a bridge, watching leaves float down a river. Each thought is a leaf. Acknowledge it, but let it drift away. One practical way to cultivate mindfulness is through controlled breathing. When tempted, pause and take 5 deep breaths. Focus entirely on the sensation of air entering and leaving your lungs. This simple act pulls your attention back to the present and disrupts the cycle of desire. Another technique is grounding. If you find your mind wandering, engage your senses. Touch something textured, like the fabric of your clothing, or focus on the sounds around you. This practice anchors you in reality, pulling you away from the allure of fantasy. A man battling persistent, lustful thoughts started journaling his triggers. By writing down when and where these thoughts occurred, he became more mindful of his patterns. Over time, he used this awareness to create healthier routines, like avoiding certain environments or setting boundaries with his phone usage. Mindfulness is not about suppressing desires, but transforming how you respond to them. By cultivating presence, you reclaim control over your thoughts and align yourself with your higher values. Lesson 5. Focus on your higher purpose. Lust thrives in a vacuum of purpose. When you lack a clear sense of direction, your mind becomes vulnerable to distractions. The Stoics believed that a life guided by virtue and purpose is the antidote to fleeting desires. Seneca said, "The mind that is anxious about future events is miserable." This applies equally to a mind consumed by fleeting pleasures. To combat lust, anchor yourself in your greater purpose. Ask, what do I want to achieve? Who do I want to become? When you focus on these questions, lustful thoughts lose their power. They pale in comparison to the life you're building. A man struggling with this challenge decided to immerse himself in his passion for art. Each time temptation arose, he channeled his energy into creating. His newfound purpose filled the void where lust once thrived. Purpose also strengthens discipline. Imagine training for a marathon. Every step forward is a reminder of your goal, leaving no room for distractions. Similarly, when you pursue a meaningful ambition, whether it's advancing your career, building relationships, or developing a skill, you cultivate resilience against temptations. Reflect on the role models you admire. Do they let fleeting desires dictate their actions? Likely not. Emulating their focus and discipline can inspire you to rise above your impulses. By aligning your daily actions with your long-term vision, you create a framework for success and self-mastery. Finally, remember that purpose is not a destination but a journey. Each small step toward your goals reinforces your identity as someone driven by higher values, not base desires. Let this awareness guide you in moments of temptation. Lesson 6. Cultivate gratitude and humility. Lust often stems from a sense of entitlement, the belief that you deserve to possess or admire someone. Gratitude and humility are powerful antidotes. By appreciating what you already have, you reduce the urge to seek fulfillment elsewhere. Epictetus taught, "He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has." Start by listing 3 things you're grateful for each morning. These could be as simple as your health, a supportive friend, or the opportunity to learn. Gratitude shifts your focus from what you lack to what you cherish, diminishing the allure of fleeting desires. Humility involves recognizing your shared humanity with others. A man battling lust began volunteering at a homeless shelter. Seeing people's struggles firsthand reminded him of their dignity and worth, reshaping his perspective. Instead of viewing others as objects of desire, he saw them as individuals deserving respect. Another way to practice gratitude is through reflection. Think about the people who've supported you, your parents, mentors, or friends. How would they feel knowing you're prioritizing fleeting impulses over your growth? This reflection can serve as a moral compass in moments of weakness. Finally, gratitude and humility cultivate inner peace. When you value what you have and respect others as equals, you free yourself from the endless cycle of desire. You become anchored in contentment, a state far more fulfilling than any fleeting pleasure. Mastering lust is not about repression but transformation. Each strategy we've explored today, shifting your perspective, redirecting your focus, visualizing consequences, practicing mindfulness, pursuing purpose, and cultivating gratitude, leads to a freer, more focused life. Let this journey inspire you. Which of these strategies will you adopt first? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If this video resonated with you, like and subscribe to join our community of seekers dedicated to Stoic growth. Until next time, stay disciplined and stay strong.